Hi guys, Rhonda without an H here with you again. Oh my goodness, it's so good to be back and to feel pretty normal. I still have a bit of a cough, but I know my last video, it was, I had so many sweet comments on getting well and well wishes, and I thank everybody. I thank you for your support. I thank you for those that have missed me, and I'm grateful to be back here with you. Okay, so, and first of all, I do want to say happy Thanksgiving. I know I'm recording this the day after, but I want to wish all of you, I hope you had an amazing day, or if that's not your thing and you were sad and lonely, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. Holidays can sometimes be really rough, and I appreciate that. And I'm doing a simple little altered book cover that I want to show you out today. For a simple Christmas giving, these are done from, and this isn't new, I've made a ton of them before. They've been around for years. You know, the little memo books that you buy, a 3-pack for $1, and actually I got my little 3-packs for 88 cents in Walmart. Now that's here in the US and a Walmart, and I don't know, those of you that live in other countries, what you might have similar, but they're just little memo books, and you can just make them so much fun. Decorate them for Christmas, for your grandkids, for just, they make a nice little book that can sit in a purse, a wallet, and just in a journal even if you want, but for note-taking, grocery lists, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to show you, well, let's take one and open it up and show you just how fun and simple. Now you'll also notice the difference here, and that is that I have simply inked my edges around. I like kind of the vintage look, and this gives it a vintage feel to it. This is fabric for the most part. I did do one that was paper, and you can do either paper, fabric, whatever. But I'm going to show you how I do mine. And when you open this up, it's all very white. And notice the difference. And this is just a little crocheted chain stitch. I just crocheted a simple little chain with some crochet thread. This is a cream or beige. But notice the difference when you ink the edges versus not inking the edges. Don't these pages, for some reason, by just doing that around the edges, it seems to take the starkness of the color of the white away, and I like that. But it's just simple. All I've done is cover the inside, back, and front. And this is just a tissue paper that I had, and it's Christmassy, Christmas music. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do that. We're going to cover the inside, front and back. We're going to cover the outside, front and back, and we're going to put a new spine to cover that as well. And then we're going to ink our edges, and we'll have some fun little gifts that you can give to grandkids, friends, whatever. They'll make great little hostess gifts as well. All right. So what you're going to need are the memo books. And like I said, I got mine in Walmart, 3 for 88 cents. You're going to need some paper for the inside. To save time, I have cut out my paper, and like I said, this is just a package of tissue paper. And usually when you buy a package of tissue paper, it's all folded up, and so when you unfold it, it has these fold lines. Well, I turn it upside down and I iron it, spritz it with a little bit of water and iron it, press it down, and then, I don't know if you can see this really well, but it gives more of a crinkly effect. Love the crinkle. Tissue paper, this is cool. I usually am oohing awing over the crinkle of deli paper or of glassine, but this is nice for a change. Okay, so you're going to need something for the inside, and you could do regular paper as well. I would not recommend a heavy paper. The heavier the paper, because you've already got this nice sturdy little cardboard piece that you're covering, the more awkward it's going to be and bulky. So I would recommend something that's not going to be too terribly heavy on the inside, especially on the inside of the front and back covers, but also covering the outsides as well. All right, so you need the notebook, you need the inside paper, you need to decide on some images. So for those of you, I mean, there are amazing digital downloads out there, or you may have a plethora of Christmas cards or whatever you might. I picked these to use for mine, and I just they're sweet. So you're going to need an image for the front, and you're going to need scrapbook paper or whatever. That's what I have used for the back. So you're going to need a front and a back, and you are going to need a spine. Here's my fabric spine. And then if you want, you're going to need some ribbon or some type of little closure. And you're going to need glue. All right, so let's get started. What I have done previously, now I'm going to show you how I do this, but I've also got one a little further along. I'm using Elmer's all-purpose glue stick, Yoo-hoo. The key, I think, to the glue stick is that you put a very thick layer of glue. If you put just a thin layer, it may come up. Now I have not used every glue out there, but I have used those that I mentioned. Now the all-purpose Elmer's glue has worked fine for me, but it may not work for everybody. All right, so as you can see, I'm just kind of smoothing that down. Gonna kind of clean off my area there a little bit. And then let's smooth that down. And if there are any edges that you find didn't quite get enough glue, then go ahead and touch those up. And what I used to touch it up with is the art glitter glue with the small little head, because it fits so perfectly into tiny little spots. You don't need much, you just a little bit will go a long ways. I don't have one of those fancy little pins that people have that so you know where your pin is, because they have to be stainless steel or it rusts eventually. Okay, so you're going to do that to the inside front, you're going to do that to the inside back. Now, as you can see, I have just a little bit of trimming that I need to do. I'm going to let this dry completely, but then what I will do is just with a pair of scissors, I would just carefully go along the edge, as you can see, and trim my rounded corners there. All right? Then when you get that step done, voila, you have the inside cover and the inside back cover completed, and you're ready to do the fronts. So, getting my image now. Let's see, which had I decided? They're all just so pretty. Oh. I think I'm going to use this one. So, on this one, I'm probably going to use a little heavier glue because I'm not 100% sure how many years. Anyway, I'll probably start with this and then I'll add this to it, or this fabric tack. All of those are wonderful glues. So we'll go ahead. Let's start with this. And we are just making sure to get plenty down. Oops, oh, okay. As you can see, I kind of messed that up. Sometimes when you push really hard on a glue stick, it will it'll break off in little chunks. And that's, I don't think that's the purpose of it. So I've got quite a bit of that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this around, especially around my edges, knowing that the corner, come on, there we go. It's hard probably for you to see this because I've kind of got white on white here underneath me to protect my quilting mat. I have a bit of freezer paper. All right, we'll lift that up. Just gonna kind of wipe that down a little bit. We're gonna position this on. Being careful, I do want to get this as nicely as possible. You know what? I didn't even think about this. Let's bring it in closer. Sorry for the jiggling. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to just kind of let that work on getting dry. And I'm going to turn it over. And we're going to do the, let's see, very same thing on the back. And this is the piece that I've chosen to go on the back. Let's see, and as I do this, I'm going to have to do a little bit of trimming, but that's okay. I'll do it after. So we're going to do the same thing, only this time I'm going to not rub quite so hard so I don't get a clump, a clump of the stick glue or the glue stick. And we will run a bead down our edges. I love the way this glue comes out in such a small, skinny bead. Oh my goodness, it just allows you to get into all those tiny little spots that are hard to use with a stick glue, especially a stick glue. Okay, now let's bring this in a little bit closer, and we shall these are so fun. I mean, seriously, this is such an easy, simple project for you to do. Is that fun? Almost, almost. You can see I've got just a little bit of trimming, so I'm going to trim around my edges. I'm going to use the blow dryer on here for just a second. I apologize. Excuse the noise. I just want to make sure that it's good and dry before I go ahead and trim it. Okay. So now we'll just go ahead and do that step. We just come along the edge, follow, and okay, so there's the inside, there's the back, and now let's do the same to the front. Let's see. Aha! Voila! Ta-da! 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 All right, so moving along. We're doing well. Okay, now what? At this stage, I'm going to go ahead and do some inking around. I'm using Tim Holtz Distress Ink. Any ink that you choose to use is fabulous. I'm wanting to age mine so the image doesn't look so bright and white, but you can do whatever, what's the phrase that sometimes they use, float your boat? Although we don't do much boating here where I live in Arkansas, at least not where we live. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do around the edges on the back. It doesn't show up with this particular image too much, but that's okay. Now, you guys, what I'm doing is I'm edging my papers. Oh, it's so easy when you do it when they're all together like this. And just hold the book in one hand and get the images. Get the pages inked to whatever, you know, desire, whatever you want to do. Okay, isn't that cute? Now I'm also going to do the same, only I'm going to lay it down here so my hands are not so jiggly. And then we'll do the inside cover, the front. Okay, done with that step. So, cute image, cute back. Memo's ready. We just have to do the spine and we are done. So this is what I picked as it matches with my green. I wanted something a little bit different. There's just a little bit of light green in there too. I wanted to highlight that. So what I'm doing here is just a little bit different. Now I could glue it with my fabric tack. I could glue it with my art glitter glue. But I also have this, and this is double-sided heavy scrapbooking tape. And so what I'm doing, and it's an inch wide, excuse me, and my fabric strip is 1 1/4 inches wide, and it's the length of my little memo book, which is 4 1/2 inches. So I'm putting this down, and then I'm going to burnish it. Now it goes a little bit further than my fabric, and that's okay, but I have to be a little careful so that I don't get it stuck down to my paper, and it's coming off okay. So then I'm just going to center this on. Let's see, let's take the paper off on this edge. Nope, not quite burnished enough. And fabric, it is harder to use with this scrapbooking tape because the fabric is more pliable. But as you can you see that sticky layer of glue or tape that I'm leaving? Okay, so we remove that, and I want to start, excuse me, gonna have to quit this video pretty soon because the longer I talk, the more the cough wants to come back from my recent illness. And I don't want that. Okay. So I'm going to try to center. I want to make sure, okay, that I've got a straight edge. Turn it around. That looks pretty straight. So I'm going to go ahead and continue wrapping around. Excuse me. Burnish. And you just need to trim just a smidgen. Sorry, I'm anal about some things. It just has to be, try to get it as perfect as I can. All right, so we have created this sweet little memo notebook that can be used for so many different things. Look at all those pages. It can be a glue book. I mean, just anything. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie it around, and this is approximately, well, let's measure. It is, okay, 12, 13, 14, 15, it's about 16 inches long of a ribbon or whatever you might want to tie it with. And this allows you the opportunity to create a bow. We'll tie that. All right, there you go. Thank you for joining me. Oh, and it's so good to be back. I can't even begin to tell you. And I hope that you're getting excited about the holidays or whatever is in your future. I hope it's bright. I hope it's wonderful. And until next time, have a fabulous day. Bye now.